Episode 9. A return to form and a terrible revelation. The death of the athletic director's sister sent shockwaves through the University of Minnesota, enveloping the campus in an atmosphere of mourning and unease. Coaches, players, administrators, and fellow students leaned on one another, sharing their grief at memorial services and in quiet moments between classes. For Ashley Ashby, the heartache was almost too much to bear. The murder of the woman he loved shattered his carefully constructed facade, and he took a year-long sabbatical to grapple with his loss and unrelenting questions. Before leaving, he entrusted his assistants with detailed notes, everything from defensive rotations to team morale exercises, insisting they simply follow the basics. That season, Minnesota went 21-14, falling in the NIT's first round to Kentucky. With graduating seniors departing and Raheem Concorgo bolting early for the NBA, the Gophers faced more transition. But hope arrived in the form of Aloysius Sau, a hulking center whose skill set drew comparisons to Shaquille O'Neal. Upon his return, Ashby channeled his anguish into coaching. He was still haunted by the shadowy letters he'd received in the past, wary that their anonymous sender might resurface at any moment. But on the hardwood, he found purpose and, perhaps, a measure of peace. Galvanized by Ashby's renewed vigor, the Gophers embarked on an unprecedented 33-0 regular season, powered by Sau and a new defensive intensity. The media, led by Spurts Illustrated and ESPN, celebrated Minnesota as Center U, spotlighting their knack for developing standout big men. Despite suffering their first loss to Indiana in the Big Ten tournament final, the Gophers earned a #1 seed in the NCAA tournament and advanced to the Final Four, only to fall again to the Hoosiers. Standing on the sideline as the clock expired, Coach Ashby felt a swell of pride. Yes, they had lost, but his players and staff had proven their mettle under immense pressure, and the future was bright with only one starter graduating. That optimism was short-lived. Late one night, as Ashby pored over his preseason itinerary, he heard a knock at his office door. Standing there was his assistant, Newsom, with an unreadable expression. Their conversation began quietly, but soon took a horrifying turn. Newsom, softly. "Coach, I need to tell you something. I killed her. The AD's sister. I did it for you. For us. For this program." Ashby, blood pounding in his ears. "You... what? You're sick. Do you realize what you've done?" Newsom, raising a hand to interrupt. "Listen. You were losing focus, Ashley. You were distracted by her and your grief. You took a year off and we were set for a mediocre season again. But look what happened when you returned. We went undefeated in the regular season. We got back to the Final Four. Ashby, you can't be serious. You..." Newsom, "I needed you on edge. That's why I sent those letters. Without them, you'd get complacent. I wanted that killer instinct I know you have, and look at the results. We nearly won it all this year. Next season, we can finish the job if you stay focused." Ashby, voice trembling, "You murdered the woman I loved. You terrorized me for months, just to motivate me." Newsom, voice gaining a twisted conviction, "You're the face of this program, Coach. But we both know the secret behind your drive. I did what needed to be done, and look how far we've come. Another year or two, and we'll have a championship. We just have to keep our eyes on the prize." Ashby felt the walls closing in. Rage, guilt, and a sense of utter helplessness swirled within him. Newsom had chosen this moment carefully, ensuring they were alone. One false move, and Ashby risked exposing his own carefully guarded secrets. In one dreadful confession, Newsom had stolen every certainty Ashby possessed. The man standing before him was no mere colleague. He was a cunning manipulator, a murderer, and the puppet master behind the letters that had driven Ashby's paranoia. In that chilling moment, Ashley Ashby realized his precarious world had tilted on its axis. He stood at a crossroads, torn between confronting the monster Newsom had become or continuing to coexist with him, knowing full well any misstep could destroy everything he'd built.